So we've got a couple of destructive thunderstorm warnings. We've got a larger severe thunderstorm warning, but what the Weather Service is doing is highlighting a zone that will have the greatest potential of seeing the strongest core of wind, which typically is on the apex of the bow, and that's kind of like a bow and arrow, if you will. And that's pointing right into parts of Putnam County, Hendricks County, Morgan County, and that warning technically until 3:45 with the potential of 80-mile-per-hour gust. We'll see if that verifies. I hope it doesn't. Can tell you that we've had a lot of wind damage out of Vigo County, and so we're going to probably continue to see more of these warnings. And this line stretching from Fowler, Attica, it's probably within 10 minutes of reaching Lafayette. It's over Crawfordsville now, and you can see we just got an updated scan there within that polygon that's flashing for the destructive wind, and then farther south and southwest. So we are definitely going to get rain. Some, and we were saying maybe just southwest of Indy might have the greatest likelihood of seeing these higher gusts. And severe thunderstorm warning also for a good portion of Boone, not necessarily the destructive, but still an elevated risk. Any severe thunderstorm warning today, by the way, until this line can completely weaken, will have the potential of 60 to 75-mile-per-hour wind. Some of these pockets may be a bit stronger. And within this line, we will get some cores that may try to rotate a little bit. It's a broad area of strong gusty wind, that we know. But within, sometimes in the line, we will pick out and find these little areas of rotation that sometimes can enhance the wind speed. Not noticing too many of those right now, but it's something that we'll continue to monitor here as we play through the next couple of hours. And a remarkable pickup in speed. I'm going to take this thing back 2 hours just to show you how fast. So there it is in central Illinois, and you can see just how much ground it's covered. Now it's getting into an environment that is not as unstable as what was happening to the west, but because it was such a big complex, it's going to take some time before it can run out of gas, if you will. And we'll see where the finish line of that's going to be. Is it going to be I-65? Could it be just a little east of there? But until further notice, we're going to have some potential for some severe wind. Chelsea, are you seeing any new images of damage?
I have not seen any new reports at the time besides what we had earlier out of Terre Haute.
Okay.
With some of those trees and power lines down.
Yeah, and this, speaking of Terre Haute, so here's an NDOT camera. It'll be interesting to see how many of those cameras can hang with it. But yeah, a lot of reports of trees, power lines, power outages there. So.
Cloverdale.
Okay, let's go
if
to.
If it holds on to it.
Yeah, okay. Let me know if it pops back up. It's not showing on my system. But yeah, that's in Cloverdale here. So a long line. I mean, this is an arcing line of thunderstorms. Let's go back and we'll just put this into motion over the last 15 minutes. We will definitely get a lot of pictures of shelf clouds out of this. There's no doubt about that. We are going to get a lot of those. We will likely, in either way, this is summer camp season. And even if you just take the wind component out of this line, downpour of rain and lightning will be enough to do the trick to either bring your golf game in, or if you've got kids that are in camps, this thing is barreling toward the metro area. We were thinking between 3:30, 3:45. That time still looks like it's going to work out. It'll be, the leading edge of this line is going to be over close to Ohio, right around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Now on the back side of this, I'll add, the severe threat will be over, at least initially. We'll wait and see what can happen later on. Part of it's what's going to be a very active a daily chance of these complexes and a daily chance that each one of them could produce severe weather here. So multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Looks like a new one just came in for the southwestern portion of our viewing area, and that's going to include that's going to include Bloomington. That goes until 3:45 as well. And potential for destructive wind up and down this line, at least pockets. Hopefully it will not be anything that's going to be the complete length of the line. But we've seen enough with this that, the thinking about 2 hours ago is that at some point it was going to take more of a southeastern movement, and we just haven't seen that just yet. It does look like, and what do you think, Chelsea? I mean, it looks like the lightning intensity in terms of the quantity has gone down just a little bit.
Yes,
maybe?
A little bit. I agree with that.
Okay. So that would be a sign of weakening, and let's hope that trend is something that trend is going to continue here. But multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. I mentioned it's on top of on Lafayette now. So we use a product, it's called the shear detector, and one good thing about this is that it takes this and it says, now just look at these areas. So it finds pockets within this line where the wind shear or wind damage potential may be enhanced. So we're seeing a few of those as we work down. You see one there's near Crawfordsville, and we're seeing these pockets as well around Bainbridge and Coatesville and a little farther south. All right, so within those we can get these little areas of wind damage enhancement potential, at least, as we continue our coverage here. And we're just gonna probably ride this out on our mobile channel until we can give you the all clear here, because it's going to be reaching the metro, at least the western side of the metro, before the top of the hour, the way it looks right now. If you see any wind damage, Crawfordsville reporting a 64 knot wind gust at the airport there in Crawfordsville. So that's over 70 miles per hour. That will do damage. Yeah, Lafayette, you said?
Yeah, just south of Lafayette.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Near State Road 26.
Yeah, meteorologist Chelsea Stevens with us here today, and we appreciate that. So this is State Road 26. So this is, let me get that off of there. Yeah, so this gives us a little vantage point. It'll be interesting to see as the line gets a little closer to Lafayette. I have a friend of mine over in Champaign, Illinois. The storm was much stronger over there, by the way, and he said the power flickered a little bit. It never went fully out. He thinks he might have missed the bulk of the stronger wind that might have gone just south of him. So we appreciate Jeff's vantage point over there. Let's get another look. Yeah, we'll go back to that one. But so here's the latest warnings now. Severe thunderstorm warning. It's pretty much north and south, up and down this line. We've got the warnings here. Destructive thunderstorm warning continues for a portion of Hendricks County. You can see just how fast, even in the time that we've been on the air, you can see how quickly it's moving. Rockville right now, you're done. Over toward the western side of far western Indiana, you are done. You're in good shape. But we still are going to have a little bit to go. Rockville's out of power, you say?
That's what I'm seeing a viewer say.
Okay. So we're starting to get some local power outages, which is not all surprising. Jen, I don't know if you're back there, but if you guys get the AES map up and you want to pop that in, let me know. I'm just looking over at some stuff out of Illinois. It looks like they've had quite a day. It's interesting. Yeah, they've had a lot of wind damage over there. We'll see. Let's hope this thing can run its course and start to, over the next hour, lose its damage potential. But until this line can get fully weakened, we're going to be we're going to be covering this and see how it works out. So multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm just trying to catch up to see if we've got any other new damage reports here. And it looks like we got a new thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind, and that includes Frankfurt, Delphi, Flora, Sheridan, Kempton, Rocheville, and we are still looking at a storm movement to the east-northeast on this at 65 to near 70 miles per hour, and just remarkable forward storm speeds here. So let's do some tracks on this. Again, the line starting to reach Lafayette over Crawfordsville right now. All right, so we're up to 29,000 AES outages. These are ETAs within the next 20 minutes. Let's extend this out. And again, this is all under the assumption that it holds together. It's very possible by the time it gets over into Kokomo, and standby will, but it's very possible by the time it gets over to Kokomo that it could weaken, but that would be before the top of the hour. The Chrysler transmission plant before the top of the hour as well. Okay, so, but 60-mile-per-hour wind potential within that portion of the line. And then, Ashley, I don't know if we can get any of our tower cameras pointing west or even southwest as much as possible. I know some of them, it kind of puts it in a weird zone. But let's see if we can do that to take a look at this line that's coming in. Heads up, Danville, Brownsburg. So Western Metro, here you go. Timing looks like it's playing out as expected in terms of about a 3:30. Stand by here. Sorry about that, folks. But that timeline seems like it's working. And still the potential that embedded within this line that we could have some stronger gusts, 70 plus. Either way, we're starting to see those power outages ramp up here. And it's just one of those things. It built up so much steam over in Illinois that it just takes it longer before its life cycle can, run, before it totally weakens. But as you look back, you see those storm reports that go all the way back out into Champaign and Bloomington, Illinois, Terre Haute. We've mentioned a couple of times Vigo County with a lot of power outages here. So arcing toward Lafayette, Crawfordsville, Terre Haute, you see Greencastle. Once you get on the back side of this line, at least for now, until the next one comes in, at least for now, the threat of severe wind will be over for you. And for a few hours, we're going to hopefully have some beneficial rain. It's not going to be anywhere in the ballpark of squashing the drought. That's just not going to happen today. But let's double check here just to make sure we don't have anything trying to spin up to the south. Let me call up the, we'll keep a tab on that there. Looks like there might be trying to see something north, and again, and there's the new thunderstorm warning. I tell you what, since this includes Indianapolis, why don't we go ahead and we'll do an update on Channel 13 when that time is appropriate, and you guys let me know, and we'll hop on, and we'll take care of that. South of Brownsburg. Okay, I'll call that up. Thank you, Chelsea. N.1? There you go. Okay, yep. Okay, you got it. So we'll keep our digital coverage going here. This is Reagan Parkway there, 74, giving you a vantage point of the storm as it moves in. And now we've got the new severe thunderstorm warning. And thankfully not a destructive thunderstorm warning. With that said, wind damage is still a considerable threat. We could still get 70 gusts out of this. So downtown Indy, let's just see, let's take a look at that camera. Let's look at our downtown cameras here. Yeah, so pointing at Victory Field. Yeah, that's the one, Ashley, if we can. That's the Salesforce camera. If we can get that one repositioned, that would be great. It gives us a nice little view. I appreciate it. So yeah, thunderstorm warning that includes Indianapolis until 4:15. Looking like now that we're at 3:30, so probably gets in the city at about 3:45. I'm going to pause here momentarily. We're going to hop over to channel 13 and do a cut in there. All right, this is live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash with another update here on channel 13. As expected, we're getting an extension of warnings here, and warnings that have the potential to produce 70-mile-per-hour wind now in most of the metro area. It includes Indianapolis, it includes Fishers, Greenwood, New Whiteland, Franklin, so areas of Johnson County that are still cleaning up from the tornadoes from Sunday here. This line is still moving toward the east at 60 to 65 miles per hour. It goes all the way up to Lafayette. It has had a history, especially in west central Indiana, of producing wind of 70 plus. Now, I don't know if we're going to get gusts that high, but it is a possibility. It'll be downtown before the top of the hour here. And again, as it moves toward the east at roughly 60 to 65 miles per hour. This line will be over near Ohio by the time we get toward 6 p.m. So this will be a quick hit, but nonetheless treat it with respect. Lowest level of your home, away from trees and away from power lines here. And speaking of, there will likely be an increase in power outages until this storm can get out of the state here. We will keep you we're up to 42,000 now AES customers, so that number continues to climb. We're going to go back to continuous live stream coverage on our mobile apps and web, and we'll be back on 13 as needed. Please stay safe, and we appreciate you choosing us for weather. And web and things like that. Continue to watch live Doppler 13 radar. Timeline moving as according here. Let's go ahead and look at some cameras across central Indiana. So this is the Plainfield rest area, and this will be interesting to kind of monitor the progression of what we're seeing now and what we're going to see here probably in about 15 minutes. And we'll go from Plainfield. Cloverdale looks like it's out right now. Let's show you the downtown camera here over Indy as we still look over at Victory Field. We talked about the tarp going on, so it's going to be on. I know a lot of people are really amped up about the game tonight against the Savannah Bananas. I think that will be fine. It's just there's going to be a big interruption for batting practice, things like that right now. This will run its course. It will get over to the eastern side of the state here. Let me take off that. Yes.
Some word that there could be some multiple trees down on I-70 eastbound. This is in Center Point, Indiana. Okay. And it includes possibly one of those trees falling on a vehicle. Okay,
yeah, that's what we don't want to hear. All right, so that's in Clay County. And so that was, we coming into this, southwest was the area we felt would have the strongest, or at least the highest chance of seeing the severe gust. So, roger that. Let's, yeah, let's hope that we don't get any more reports of that, and we'll certainly keep an eye on that. Yeah, I've just got to, straight line. So someone on Twitter from Jamestown talking about how bad it is. We'll see if they have any damage there. But yeah, this is, you know, so unlike a tornado, which is going to hit a few locations, when you have a complex of storms like this is a much larger area that gets impacted, unfortunately. And so that's why it's not going to be a surprise if we start to, you know, still see a big uptick in outages. Let's go ahead and, so over Lafayette now, Frankfort, these are the severe thunderstorm warnings. And as we work down, it's over Brownsburg now. Let's look at our downtown tower camera. We appreciate you guys. So you can still see what's left of that nasty smoke layer that is still hanging around. It's not as bad now, and it certainly will get much better after this thing blows through. But we were going to keep tabs on that camera as well, because within the next 15 minutes, we will be within the core. You know, right now the strongest wind is nearing Brownsburg. So let me go back. I'm going to put on our wind plot here. And hey, if you can, Chelsea, I'm retweeting a friend of mine from Avon, Brownsburg.
Okay.
Shelf cloud. We'll get that turned around. So he's right on the leading edge of this. Mark, I appreciate it. I don't know if you're watching our coverage, but so there you go. You can see the lightning. So you see those bright colors. Let's take off.
On I-74 back on, you
Okay.
can kind of see the shelf cloud a little bit on there too.
So this is radar indicated near 70 mile per hour wind that we're seeing on live Doppler 13 radar. And that's up and down the line. That's now over, just about to get into Brownsburg and Avon. But what you will see in advance of that is you'll see the shelf cloud, and Chelsea's going to turn that picture around here in a second, and we'll show it to you. N.1, Chelsea?
N.1, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so, and there you go. So this 74 Reagan Parkway. As we continue to follow a damaging line of storms that's still knocking out power and still definitely has some teeth to it as it approaches metro area. Hopefully people have been following us all day. We've been fine-tuning as much as we can the timeline. And this is the shot from our downtown camera as we look south. So eventually that thing will get swallowed up in the rain here before we get to 4 o'clock based on the movement. But we've been trying to do our best to fine-tune the exact timing, which is tough in these situations with these complexes, because basically things happen. Like we had the storms this morning that was in far western, southwestern Indiana, and we were thinking that might be a little farther east than it was, but it was a little closer to the Illinois border. Then we started to see the development of what we have now back out in Nebraska. And so when we saw that, we knew that eventually it was going to just get caught up in the westerlies and get pushed toward us, and that's what's going on. But a long history there. Yeah. Yeah. That's I-70 near Brownsburg. Oh, hang tight. Yeah, leave that bad boy up if you can. Yeah, pop that one up again, and we'll hold that one. Because that'll be an interesting one to watch. And if you want to split NDOT and split the radar, you can do that too. Get my ugly mug off the screen here. But yeah, so Advance, Lebanon, Thorntown. This is the leading edge of the strongest wind. Let's get our warnings back on. So all of the metro area, for the most part, under a severe thunderstorm warning on a line that continues to have a pace of about 60 miles per hour. At least 60 miles per hour. Let's take that leading edge. We mentioned it's just over Brownsburg now. And let's take it about 65. So within 10 minutes, Butler University. Within 10 minutes, over Victory Field, which is what we've been talking about, Meridian Hills. So these are all the areas. Within about 5 minutes, we should have you in Zionsville. There you go. That's our Brownsburg camera there. Yep, okay. Yeah, so we'll hang tight with that. Starting to see some raindrops now. And yeah, that's going to be, that camera should change quite a bit within the next 10, 15, no, the next 5 minutes really. As the rain core and the wind core, by the way, starts to get a little bit closer here. You seen any new damage reports, Chelsea? Let me know. I'll keep an eye out too here. Yeah, shelf cloud on the northwest side. There's one in Monticello.
A pine tree snapped off. This is in Hendricks County.
Okay. Yep, so we're going to get some tree damage. Looks like Montgomery County, we've had some tree damage as well. And I'm sorry, Ashley, can you repeat that number again? I apologize. Up almost 50,000. Is that Duke, I'm assuming? Yes. Oh, AES. So that is Duke. AES will be going up here momentarily as it gets into Marion County. And let's keep we'll keep an eye out on both of those. So almost up to 50,000 outages with Duke, 104 AES. So I'm willing to bet here by the time we get to 4 o'clock, AES is probably going to be exceeding 1,000, but we'll definitely see how that works here. So severe thunderstorm warnings, Indianapolis, Meridian Hills, Carmel, Fishers, nasty line of storms that has made quite a progress here. We'll pop the radar back up. There you go. Thank you, friend. Lot of lightning too. That's the other thing. So this is impacting outdoor plans regardless if you get severe wind or not with this. This is going to impact outdoor plans. Got new, looks like okay, yeah, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for the south central portion of the viewing area. And this is going to encompass Seymour, Bedford, and Bloomington. This is going to go till 4:30. Now this thing will be done by 4:30 just based on the forward speed. 70 plus mile per hour potential remains in play with this line that continues to arc toward the east and southeast. Okay, yeah, pop-up links too, guys. This is from Mark. That's over in Brownsburg. Now that was about, he tweeted that about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, so that's what you're going to see, and is definitely going to look ominous. And it's with the outflow of air coming from the thunderstorm. And Ashley, if we have a moment, if there's any spots on 13 that we can go live, you just let me know and we'll do that. Yeah, no problem. We don't have to do it right now, but if you see something that makes sense. And there you go. So we've got, let's do a little camera tour here. I like that one we just had up. That's looking southwest. You see Victory, you see JW. And yeah, we should be just about, let's say less than 10 minutes away. Less than 10 minutes before it gets that camera there. Let's see our N.1. There you go, getting into some wind-driven rain. Okay, Chelsea's got, that was Greencastle. Greencastle, a lot of outages, which makes sense based on the track here, right? All right, so let's, yep, let's do it. Hey everyone, this is Live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. We're coming back on channel 13. We're still going to be doing our live coverage on our mobile apps. Severe thunderstorm warning, the leading edge now over Hendricks County. We've just had some updates out of Greencastle, a lot of power outages. We're approaching 50,000 Duke Energy customers without power at this hour. Moving into, well, certainly it's already on the western side of the metro. It's moving into the western side of Marion County. It will definitely have the potential still of 65 to possibly over 70 mile per hour gust. The warning for Indianapolis technically goes until 4:15 p.m. It will be over downtown within the next 15 minutes. It's already on the far west side here. We have additional thunderstorm warnings that go all the way up to the north and all the way to the south that include Bloomington, Bedford, as well as Seymour and Columbus. Treat the line with respect here. Just treat it like a tornado warning until it can move through your area, and it'll be over in far eastern Indiana before we get to about 5:30 or 6 o'clock here. Okay, we will get back over to our live stream and our mobile feature here, and we will hop back on channel 13 as needed. We'll see you then. Okay, friends, we are right back at it here, and yeah, we're just gonna continue with this coverage and just try to keep as many people aware of what's going on. Hopefully, they've been following. We are going to keep an update on the outages and see how the outage map goes. And just in fact, I got Duke right now down just shy of 50,000 and just over 100 so far in Marion County. I want to get a quick check on damage reports. And so they're also extending the watch to the east. Chelsea, did you see that? That makes sense?
Yes, they have extended it now, includes Muncie, and that stretches a little bit farther south as well.
Yeah, which makes sense. And so, you know, basically the starting point was Indy, and let's see if it can maintain. And it is, and so that's why you're seeing those additional cities.
And that goes until 8 p.m. That's for Decatur, Madison, Rush, and Central Indiana, Delaware, Henry, Randolph.
Okay, so there you have it. So yes, this includes Elwood, Anderson. Chelsea mentioned Muncie. We've got you in Greensburg as well as Newcastle. And boy, let's get our camera here.
This is I-69 on Doppler.
Okay, so there you go. So this is our shot from looking to the southwest, and you can actually hear it in the studio right now. We're getting shook around a little bit. And I'm sorry, N.1. Yeah, look at that. And what was the location again, Chelsea? I apologize.
This is I-69 on Doppler.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so it's going to be I see someone on a motorcycle there. Good luck. Yeah, here's our N.dot. Yeah, so this is, and there you go. It looks like the end of the world, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're about to get into the teeth, and we'll see how much wind we're going to get out of it. I will tell you, it looks like we're starting to get some reports out of Hendricks County of maybe some pockets of some tree damage there too. So yeah, over us right now. And
worse right now.
All right, let me pop up N.1 here. Yeah, look at that. Look at those lines too. Look at that shot. And I don't know if you can on the fly, but if you can give me N.1 and our camera here outside the studio too. All right, I probably could do that. That's just wild. Yeah, you can see those lines getting moved around quite a bit. And let's go to this one. Let's go to this one here. This is our downtown camera. Yeah, so you can see, let me put my telestrator back up. You can see these are what we call, I can't telestrate on this camera. Over to the west, we're looking south. It's actually east of the city, but screen left. You can see those rain curtains that are getting pushed out by the outflow of wind. So, yeah, we're seeing the outflow right now. We'll see what we get out of it. Okay, let's do it. We'll go back. We're We're going to hop back on channel 13. She wants us to stay on? Okay, let's do it. This is Live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. We are going to hop back on 13, at least for right now, because the core of this line of storms we've been following all day long, now over Indianapolis and moving toward the east, an extension of the severe thunderstorm watch because the line is still holding its own here. Let's show you what's happening here across the metro area. And by the way, we're still about 50,000 on outages with AES. And we suspect that, 50,000 Duke. We suspect AES will be going up here over the course of the next hour because of what's going on right now. As we look at some of our cameras, let me show you this line, which is now over downtown, but it goes into Frankfort, goes up to Bloomington. In its path, we have had damage reports out of Greencastle, Vigo County. We just had a wind gust at the International Airport of nearly 70 miles per hour. That will definitely do the trick in terms of knocking out power and possibly causing some tree damage and power line damage here. So that just happened. Just got that report from the International Airport. So that's what's going to be going on between now and 4:30 when it gets over into Hancock County. So that's what you can expect here. These areas of very strong wind, and that's why we're going to see an uptick in power outages. And so treat these warnings with respect. I know you're thinking it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Treat it with respect. Let me show you our camera from downtown. Oh boy, I think maybe we lost that one downtown. Let's switch gears. And this is our atop the Salesforce looking southwest. You can just make out Victory Field there on the southwest. And so that's our vantage point. We are getting into the heaviest rain core and the heaviest wind that is now blasting through. I'm going to get to those other cameras in a second. I do want to focus for a moment. And again, by the way, there's wind issues up and down. I know this looks really, really kind of difficult to see, but I'm going to circle an area. The south side of Marion County is getting into an area of enhanced wind right through here. This is going to be Beech Grove, Southport, all along 465 on the south side is going to get into some really, really strong wind here. Already in it, but moving that way. So we're probably going to get a lot of, if we get it in Marion County in terms of tree damage and stuff, it's probably going to be in that corridor. I want to expand this out a little bit. But from Beech Grove, Southport, southern Marion County, at least based on the radar, what I'm looking at is where we're going to have probably the most wind issues. There's the radome, and we'll just cut it right through here. So some of our strongest gusts are going to be occurring right here, and even downtown too. Severe thunderstorm warnings that likely will be expanded toward the east. Well, they have, and includes Greenfield and Shelbyville. As we work up the line, not as strong. But yes. And then an extension of the severe thunderstorm watch that includes Anderson, Muncie, as well as Newcastle, as we still have a east movement to the tune of 60 plus miles per hour here. Very active day. Chelsea, have you seen any new damage reports? I'm seeing one out of Brazil there.
Yes, and also I have NDOT 2, I-65, Edgewood Avenue. You can really start to see leaves being blown around as the winds are picking up, and it's
good call.
Blowing debris across I-65 as we look north.
Yep, there you go. That's a great call there. Yeah, that southern corridor, I think, and across Marion County, it's probably going to get the not just there, but there's definitely a really concentrated area of strong wind. And I'm also seeing a spike up around Meridian Hills as well. So really up and down this line. So
the wind picking up.
Yeah, you can hear it here at the station, and looks like we've lost our NDOT camera. Here's our vantage point again. So we're doing live coverage here on line of severe storms with a long history of power outages and damage over a good portion of central Indiana here. Yeah, Lebanon without power. We're starting to get southwest. So I got a picture of some tree damage southwest Marion County. And yeah, so this is, we're buckling up right now because this is the brunt of what we're going to be contending with. And we still got a little bit, at least. So let me. What I like to do sometimes when we're doing this type of coverage, I like to draw a line just to let you know who's still in play, who's not. So once you get behind this, you're done. Greencastle, Crawfordsville, but then it's a matter of, did you have tree damage? There's a report out of, so that's 74 mile per hour. That was from 315 out by the Crawfordsville Airport. So basically, behind Lebanon, behind Brownsburg, Plainfield, just behind the line, the severe threat's ending. In advance, you're still going to have to get through this thing. So it'll be over, call it up. Yeah, NDOT 1 camera. There you go, 465 Arlington. Right in what looks like a core of pretty nasty wind that's blasting through. And we might have lost that NDOT camera, I think. It looks like it to me. Kind of froze up on us, which is not surprising here. Ashley, let me know if you get an update on power outage numbers. So yeah, if this caught you off guard, I mean, this thing, we were doing our best this morning, kind of playing back through here, just so you can see the progression. Became pretty obvious at about 9-10 o'clock. This thing's going to be coming through in the afternoon, and there was a question of whether or not it was going to dive farther south or if it was going to hold together. The latter happened. Okay, we're still at 112 AES outages. Let's see if that goes up. Okay, still at 49,000 for due. So this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 4:15. Including Hancock. It's over Indy right now. Severe thunderstorm watch was expanded to include Anderson and Newcastle. And speaking of Anderson as well as Muncie, we've got a thunderstorm warning that's in place until 4:45. And that is for 60 mile per hour gust. We had a 58 mile per hour gust in Monroe County, which is borderline severe. I mentioned the 70 at the airport. That's what leads me to believe that the southern corridor of Marion County is what's probably going to get some of the strongest gust here in Marion County. All right, you got it. So we're going to do our coverage. We're going to go up to the top of the hour, and then we'll get you back in. We just want to do our best to keep people safe here. Let's go to our camera network once again. You can see Lafayette. You're done, by the way. Frankfort, you're close. Anything west of Brownsburg, Advanced Coatesville, you're done. You're getting some rain. You're still going to have some thunder and lightning, but in terms of the most severe wind, it looks like that is probably going to be over here. It's right along and just behind this line that is making its move. Just got a report. 50-foot tree down 146th and Oak Road in Carmel. Now, whether or not that was, what type of shape that tree was in, we don't know. But Boone County, we're getting damage reports out of there. A bunch of big trees knocked over. That's why there's going to be, what's going to happen here that after the rain ends, we're going to start to get into cleanup mode. But you see the movement. All right, you're east of this. take it serious. I'm telling you, treat it, I've been telling people, try to treat it like a tornado warning if you could, because of the damage. It's an elevated damage risk today for this. All right, so just like that, we went from around 100. I said before the top of the hour we would maybe be at 1,000. We're at 9,000 AES customers in Marion County right now, and that number undoubtedly is going to climb significantly. Severe thunderstorm warning continues, including Noblesville, Fishers, Greenfield. It'll be there in the next 10, 15 minutes. New Powell within the next 5. Expect a big burst of rain, and within that you are going to have anywhere from near 60 to near 70 mile per hour gust. And so the possibility that your power may go out is going to be with you. And this line will be over near Ohio probably by 6 p.m. That means we still have another couple-hour window here east of Indianapolis where we're going to be doing some additional storm coverage. And that coverage, by the way, will continue on our mobile app and online. We'll keep you updated until we can feel safe and give the all clear, and then we're going to be out and inspecting what's going to likely be quite a bit of thunderstorm wind damage cleanup here with trees and power lines and things like that. So we'll get you back to Channel 13. Our coverage will continue on our mobile. Alrighty, we are now at the top of the hour on our live stream, which feeds a lot of different aspects of Channel 13. We've got a YouTube channel, we have Facebook Live, we've got our mobile stream. Just before, if you're just tuning in, just before, we're now over 9,000 AES customers without power here. Looks like the worst of the wind is probably over for downtown, but it's just beginning if you're east of I-65, or really it's already gets you into Hendricks County and into the eastern side of Hamilton County here. So let's take a look again. We'll look at some of our camera network. Go ahead, pop it up. There you go. This is in Greenwood, I-65, which is in the belly of the beast, as we like to say here. That is really, really heavy rain, which is something that we desperately need. We just didn't want to have a trade-off with severe wind and power outages, and unfortunately sometimes that's what happens. You go from nothing to all of this. All right. Chelsea, you go ahead and take over for just a second. I'm going to tweet something out. Okay,
and we have some reports coming out of Brown County State Park, and they are saying that the estimated wind speeds were reported at 80 miles per hour, so would not be surprised if we are seeing any tree damage in that area. Also, Morgan County damage near Martinsville. Several limbs are down. Which is at the time of the damage the line was passing the area. Okay, well. And also getting reports of some power outages in Bargersville as well. All right, there you go. Yeah, I mean, and I'll show you live Doppler 13 radar. Yeah, pop it up. So this is a time lapse of our Salesforce camera, which is looking southwest. And one thing you can see, that's actually steam or fog coming off of White River on the beginning of that. Quick hit, by the way. See that? See the steam that's coming off? And that's just the really humid air, or the cooler air coming out of the storm that's going on over a relatively warmer body of water there. That's why we're getting that. That's kind of neat to see. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's do some storm tracks with live Doppler 13 radar at this hour. Chelsea, and I apologize. What is are we still at about 60 on the storm, the forward motion?
I'll double check. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning that just came out that includes Muncie. until 4:45, and the current motion is actually increased at 70 miles per hour to the east
Okay.
for that portion of the line.
All right. I've got some folks, and this is not a stunner, but broad ripple. The power is flickering. Of course, sometimes that happens just on a windy day, but this is even more so. Got signs down on the road, Shadeland North. All right, so yeah, this is, yeah. So, all right, so I'm gonna, what I wanna do, this is what we call a bow echo. And the reason it gets the name is that it's like a bow, pulling a bow, like a bow and arrow. So that arcs out like this, and it's being arced out by some really strong inflow wind on the back side of it. And that's what happens is that wind that's about 5,000 feet or so off the ground gets shoveled down or shoved down toward the surface here. Chelsea mentioned Brown County. And so there's Bedford, there's Bloomington, over Brown County now. It'll be interesting, Chelsea, to see if indeed we get 80 mile per hour wind out of that. If there might have been, let's look back at our shear rate. Yeah. And even on, let's see if is that, yeah, those are kind of false echoes here, but I want to show you this because I mentioned, watch the bright colors west. So the radome at the airport is right here. So those bright colors coming into the radome at about 70 miles per hour, there it goes, and then boom. You see how it went through the southern, at least the southern half of Marion County, but also arced all the way up. Yeah, so this warning, the worst over, by the way, so the severe wind threat now over for Indy downtown. It still continues, and that's why all of this area is under a warning. Kokomo, Elwood, Anderson, Muncie, Greenfield, Shelbyville, Columbus, and we've got warnings that go all the way down. Bedford's you're in it right now, and Columbus, as this thing continues to run its course here. Speaking of run its course, I usually don't like to use a national product, but I just do want to take this thing back 6 hours. Just so you can see where, there you go. I mean, that's 10 in the morning. And we started to get the idea that this thing was going to, during the time of day that it was going to be coming through, and there you go. You can see how it's arcing all the way, and it's riding along the hot air, to the hottest air that's to our southwest. Now, what's going on behind this? Let me, let's put the lightning up a little bit. So it's not severe wind, but we still have some beneficial rain that's falling. But you can see there's still a lot of bit of lightning behind it. But in terms of the severe wind component, that's now east side. That's now toward Greenfield and moving into Shelbyville, where we still have, where we still have severe thunderstorm warnings. By the way, for Rushville and Newcastle, those go until 4:45. If you guys got any new NDOT cameras, let me know. I-65 Franklin, NDOT 1?
.2.
NDOT 2, we'll pop that bad boy up there.
And then with the power outages that I was reporting in Burgersville, I'm also getting reports that there is a large tree down in Burgersville with power lines down with it. So that's also a good reminder, with power lines being down, be careful with lines being down as you step outside.
Great advice, Chelsea, and thank you for that update there. Looks like Frankfurt, just had someone tweet me, lot of trees and power lines down. And if you can, I just tweeted that. If you have a moment, we'll turn that around. That's my latest tweet there for tree damage up there. Looks like we still got a bunch of Hamilton County power lines down. Still gonna, I mean, this is, sometimes this happens. I mean, these things, once they build up to be so big, it's just, even though it wasn't as unstable here, yeah, it looks like this thing will continue with the severe threat into Greenfield, into Fortville, Pendleton, Anderson as well. We're over 50,000 now, Duke, and we're still hovering around 9,000 outages with AES. All right, so I'm gonna put the radar in motion. You can see how that thing just arcs out. Rain will continue on the back side of it, at least for several hours. Let's see if we can find the strongest some of the, go to our shear rate product. Let me turn off the warnings real quick and we'll just see what kind of wind. Yeah, and that's still 60 plus radar indicated. So that's still severe. Yeah, if you can pop up links to, we were talking about Clinton County. So there's Frankfurt tree damage in Clinton County there. Yeah, on a car. He did not say, and I hope there's no injuries, but he didn't say, at least when he tweeted. Oh, I apologize. I confirm no one was in the vehicle. I apologize. So that's some good news. Okay, so we'll do, you got it, 4:15. Final at 4:30. All right. Yeah, so we'll reset the stage here. So 10 after 4, continuous coverage here on our live stream. And DPW just tweeting out, kind of talking about what you were talking about, Chelsea, about those down lines. Stay away from them. Yeah, got some trees down. Yeah, there's some small trees down there in Broad Ripple. And the warnings being extended, you say?
Includes Rush County, Decatur County, Bartholomew County, South Henry County,
okay,
and Jennings County, and until 4:45 p.m.
Okay, so we're still going here, friends. Greensburg, Rushville, Knightstown, Newcastle until 4:45. And at this rate, we may be doing this coverage into our newscast. You see, as we look back west, Crawfordsville, Greencastle, Lebanon, in terms of severe wind additional, it's over with. Here in downtown right now, it's just going to be more of a steady rain with occasional rumbles of thunder. You can see up in Kokomo, and I tell you, if you want to grab a camera, Chelsea, maybe at 70 there in Hendricks. I'm sorry, 70 in Hancock. Maybe near the Greenfield exit, or even Mount Comfort, or if something near Mount Comfort. But yeah, you can definitely see. Let's go ahead and keep doing a storm track on this. I will tell you, we'll get a break in the action with this.
In dot 1.
Okay, in dot 1. And there's our ETAs. I'll get back to that in a moment. Let's do this in dot 1 here. Yeah, so that's right in that wind spike. That's I-70 there, near State Road 9. So you can see it shaking around quite a bit. Let's so yeah, let me go back to this. We'll do another storm track. And we're still at about 60, I think. 60, 65. And then let's take this out. And then let's do this. Yeah. So that gets it into Ball State within the half hour. Newcastle within 20 minutes. Now, whether what kind of shape it's going to be in, then that's to be determined. And the thinking is that it should weaken a little more each step along the journey there. Richmond, if it holds, so we said that it would be on the Ohio line between 5 and 6, and that still looks like, because at one point this thing was moving at 70 miles per hour. Okay, what you got, Chelsea?
Morgan County, we have State Road 39 south of Monrovia.
Okay.
Numerous trees are blocking State Road 39. We also have Hamilton County. A tree is blocking roads with lines down. This is on 161st Street in Noblesville.
Okay. All right, Butler Tarkington out with power. Not a surprise either. We're now almost at 20,000 AES in Marion County. Okay. This is Live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. We're back live here on Channel 13 once again for a line of storms that continues at this hour. The worst is over in Indianapolis, but it continues to the east here as we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and unfortunately we have a whole slew of power outages. We're 50,000 Duke, almost 20,000 AES. Those numbers likely will continue to climb a bit this afternoon, and we've got just about everywhere along this line that have had some damage here. Let's get into live Doppler 13 radar here, a line of storms that continues to move east at about 60 miles per hour. Strong wind, Greenfield, Fortville. You have about 5 minutes in Anderson before it arrives there. Muncie, Ball State campus, give or take 20 minutes. Newcastle, about that time as well. And Rushville, I would say in about 15 minutes. It will make it over to the Ohio state line at around 5 p.m. Behind this, a steady rain with occasional rumbles of thunder, but you're going to have to be careful if you're going to be out cleaning up because there's a lot of power lines down and there's a lot of trees that have been knocked down as well from west to east and north-south along this line. We are going to keep our coverage rolling on our live stream. We're going to get you back to Channel 13. We will have a full recap coming up at the top of the hour on Channel 13 News. Okay, friends, continuing coverage here on Channel 13 live stream. Now we're at 4:17. And we're still getting the elevation of outages, damage reports, which they are coming in so fast now in just about everywhere. I mean, everywhere along this line, there's some degree of damage that has occurred here. That's from earlier, that's from 4 p.m., near 60 mile per hour gust as it moved through. We mentioned the strong one we had, but yeah, there's just a long history of wind damage with this. Have you seen anything new?
I'm also seeing some viewers reporting that lights are out on 135 and County Line Road.
Okay.
And as I mentioned with the strong wind gusts that went through Brown County, the report of 80 miles per hour, people are reporting that the power is out in Brown County. In
Brown County, okay. All right, so I mentioned we have a bunch of reports here. So this is from, this is around 4 p.m. 60 mile per hour squalls, because if you saw some of our cameras, that's what it essentially looked like. There you go. You talked about that there up in near Carmel, wind damage. Let me take the warnings off for a moment. Trees uprooted. So this is North Crow's Nest. Trees uprooted. That northern portion of Marion County has a lot of old trees. So not a surprise that we are seeing that. Beech Grove, some tree damage. Southeast side here, some tree limbs down. Tree down there. Marion Hendricks County line. I mean, just look how many we have. Yeah, let's, and I apologize, Ashley, my brain's a little mush right now. What was the camera again? I'm sorry. Pendleton? Yes, let's pop that up there. Yeah, so that's in Pendleton, right on the leading edge, an area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning, at least until 4:45, but the line's going to be through there a little bit quicker than that. So that's our vantage point here. But yeah, I mean, when we get up, we get closer to 5 as we start to get into news time, if you will. Of course, there's always news here in the live stream, but go back to live Doppler 13 radar here, because you can see, and let's take the radar back over the last 45 minutes and watch. Actually, let's go back a little farther than that. We'll go back a couple hours and get us when we were. Yeah, watch this map populate, and that is all of the wind reports that we've had. All right, so again, east of this line, Rushville, Knightstown, Newcastle, Anderson, Muncie, Mount Pleasant. It's on Shelbyville now, Greensburg, Westport, and then as we go south, and Chelsea has mentioned this a couple of times about Brown County, so we know down here that it's had a history of doing some damage too. So Seymour, Brownstown, Jonesville, North Vernon, moving your way. We're just about, we've got another, it'll be over near the state line right around 5, maybe just a little after that. And then we should be able to settle things down here. Let me see if I've got any new, Greene County.
Down blocking 2 roads. Again, this is in Greene County.
Okay.
Near Michaels Road and also Calvertsville Road.
Okay. Yep. So look at this one. This is from 345, tree on a house in Ellettsville, estimated by radar. And let's see, Greencastle, power out. Yeah, you mentioned that one. So this, we're going to probably start to get an uptick, I would suspect, again, as this thing continues to move east. A lot of branches down in Montgomery County. So power crews are going to definitely have their work cut out for them, as they're going to do their best to get this power back on. Because, we're much more humid than we've been. That's part of the transition. And we're hoping that let me see, stand by here. Yeah, so this is, oh my goodness. Let's take the lightning off of that map there. Yeah, so we're down rain cooled. We're going to be in the 70s here for most of the afternoon. Here's live Doppler 13 radar with temperatures. So we're actually in the 60s. So that's a rain cooled air. Look out ahead of this, still in the mid 80s. All right, so so we're going to have a whole slew coming up at 5 and through the evening. We'll be sharing more and more pictures. They're probably gathering them right now. All right, so let's see here. Let me just take a look real quick. See, 60 mile per hour gust in Columbus. More damage reports from Boone County, 206 East Main. Yeah, let me see if I've got any new ones. AES 19,000. Yeah. Yep. State Road 46 down to 1 lane west of Ellettsville. It's because of the tree that we were just talking about. So it's going to be slow and go here until all these trees that have come down and may get some additional reports here. The radar velocities aren't as strong as they were. I'm going to take off the storm reports at least for right now. But we still have severe thunderstorm warnings to the east of Indy, at least for right now. Let's see what the radar's still showing pockets of 65 plus. That will do the trick, and that's where they've been. They've on the western side of the state and near, probably approaching just the western side of the metro. You know, probably more in that 70 to 80 mile per hour range, and then around Indy in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range, and then we're probably going to see that continue east of I-65 as we continue to follow this long line of thunderstorms here. Coming up on Muncie, coming up Connorsville now under severe thunderstorm warning. New warning just goes until 5:15 p.m. And if you get, I was going to say, you want to try 74 Chelsea near Shelbyville.
Yes, I can do that.
And then, maybe 70. If we got anything 70, maybe toward in between Greenfield and Spiceland, maybe. We'll see what we can get out of that. And so just going to put this bad boy on a loop here. This is a 1 hour loop. Make it 2 hours. That's 2 hour loop of this thing, still holding its own, causing an extension of the severe thunderstorm watch even into southeast Indiana. So it's now making the southeast turn. It's just not making it as quick as we thought that it might. But eventually, yes, it started to turn toward the southeast here. Let me just check, see if we got anything new.
NDOT 1 in Greensburg. This is a little bit farther southeast of Shelbyville.
Alrighty.
That would be the closest camera to Shelbyville.
Yep, okay, yep, getting ready for it down there. I just got a 65 mile per hour gust near Cumberland. Someone tweeted me there. So this thing's still producing severe gusts. Okay, alrighty, you got it? And Ashley, at some point, we might need to break our coverage on the stream so I can just get a few things tidied up for the show, if that's a possibility. Okay, you got it. Okay, so we're going to keep our coverage going here until 4:30. We're going to hop on to 13 and do a cut-in at that time, and then I'm going to break away just to kind of get a few things in order for our for Channel 13 News at 5 p.m. here. There you go, though. Look at that swath of that line of storms. That's just over the last 2 hours. And then watch each of these dots are either hail. Most of them are wind reports or wind damage reports. And you can see that bad boy heading towards Cincinnati. It does appear like the northern portion of it is weakening. And I think that may help the cause in Muncie. But we are still going to have a few more warnings. I just don't think, as time continues here, the higher gust will likely start to get minimized. And right now, it is just a steady, much needed rain that's falling in the wake of this. We're not busting up a drought just yet, but this is going to be the first of several that are going to be moving through here between now and the end of the weekend. And in fact, I'd say we probably may end up having another 4 of these. At what specific time, that's to be determined. Severe thunderstorm warning. We're getting into it there in Greensburg, well as Rushville, starting to break up there a little farther to the northeast. And let's look at some of the wind velocities. Yeah, so the northern portion not as strong as the central and southern section. So Rush County is going to have a higher chance to get some wind damage there, over 60 miles per hour. A little more numerous down there, a little stronger wind. And then what we're seeing with the section that's over Columbus now and in Greensburg. All right, so let's once again take a look at our cameras here over central Indiana. This is our vantage point here from downtown now, where the tarp remains on the Victory Field. Big game there. If you're not familiar, the Savannah Bananas in town, and that game has been sold out for quite a while. They'll play again tomorrow night, and this is the look there from our camera. Much calmer wind. And this is I-70, wet roads, and that's down in Greensburg, Decatur County, which is under the latest severe thunderstorm warning.
Ripple tree damage that you retweeted.
Can you pop, if you have time to pop up links to? If you don't, we can hold off on that till 6 o'clock. There you go. So I assume that's going to be a very familiar scene there in Broad Ripple, Butler, Tarkington area, up along Meridian Street, where we've had a lot of some damage reports here. Looks like we're getting a couple of new ones in. Warren Park, Crow's Nest. Yeah, so you can see a lot of wind and wind damage reports here in central Indiana. All right, we're going to get ready for one last cut in on channel 13. Remember, this will be we're going to put a little halt on the live stream, and then team coverage that will be coming up at 5 o'clock on channel 13 here, as this line is it's weakening, but it still has a little bit of teeth to it on the southeastern side of the state here. All righty. Well, this is live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. It has been quite a stormy and unfortunately kind of a damaging day in central Indiana, as this complex of thunderstorms has raced across almost all of the state here within the course of just a couple of hours in its path. We have tens of thousands without power and a lot of tree damage and power lines down. Let's show you what's going on. The latest, it's still moving toward the east-southeast now at 60 miles per hour. It does appear it's weakening, so I think the wind potential in Muncie is not as high as it was, but from Rushville, Greensburg into Seymour, over 60 mile per hour gusts are likely with this. Those are going to be some of the strongest wind with this. In its wake, the severe threat is over for the time being. It is just more of a steady rain with rumbles of thunder, but treat this with some urgency from Newcastle, Connorsville, and Greensburg. We're going to take a brief break, and then we're going to have team coverage coming up at the top of the hour on Channel 13 News. Take care.